Gents, I just want to pause the episode for a moment to let you know about the Strong Men of Value Academy. You will have heard me refer to it a number of times, and I want to bring more attention to it. So this isn't just a program, it's a life-changing environment and community of men who are focused on personal and professional growth. We're looking at areas of relationships, wealth, and health, things to help you thrive and maximize your life. Imagine having bi-monthly one-on-one coaching sessions with myself, weekly group coaching calls, and an incredible brotherhood of high achievers by your side. Now we're diving into resilience, leadership, and holistic growth to not just succeed in your career, but to thrive in your health and your relationships. Your journey to greatness, it starts here. So join the movement and you can apply for the Strong Men of Value Academy. You can head to themanthatcanproject.com to find out more. The Man That Can Project podcast, a podcast empowering career-driven men to live more fulfilling lives. We are here to challenge your beliefs, redefine success, and talk about the important stuff in a relatable way. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. My name's Lachie, Stuart. Let's get into it. Right, sometimes I just couldn't be bothered. And I'm recording this, it's 8:29. You're probably hearing this first thing in the morning if you're listening live. It's the, 31st, Wednesday the 31st of August, 2022. So as I mentioned, 8:30, I've just got home from an incredible dinner at SK Steak and Oyster here in Brisbane with a mate and a client, which was phenomenal. And currently there's a lot of momentum within our Strong Men of Value Academy with a lot of new members, which means there's a lot of onboarding and a whole heap of stuff happening, which means my normal time where I record this episode, I prioritize setting up new members in the academy over recording this episode. But I had a commitment to myself I had a commitment to you guys as well to deliver not only one guest episode a week, but also one solo episode a week that delivered some value. And I had a number of topics to cover this week, but I was like, well, this is what's currently going on in my life. And that is showing up even when you don't feel like it. Now, whether you're driving to work right now or you're sitting at home or you may be laying in bed or laying anywhere, just knowing that you need to do something, but you're putting it off, you're procrastinating. I want to run through how to show up even when you don't feel like and why it's important. Before I do, firstly, if you're tuning in for the very first time to the Man That Can Project podcast, thank you for pushing play. I do truly appreciate the fact that you're investing time listening to myself and our incredible guests. It means a lot. And if you do get value, make sure you hit the follow or subscribe button and even leave a review or share it on the socials. It all is awesome. And for those who are returning, welcome back. I'm sure you got some, awesome information from the recent episodes, but I'm very excited for Monday's episode as well with Darren Bain, a big mentor of mine. So I'm excited for you to all be able to hear that conversation. We get really raw and to the point, which is epic. So that's enough. But if you do want to work more closely with myself and an incredible community of men from all around the world who are striving to perform better in all areas of their life, check out the Strong Men of Value Academy over at themanthatcanproject.com/Strong Men of Value. Now, yeah, I'll definitely be pausing applications for a moment because we are so busy and I want to make sure that all of you guys get the best joining experience so you can be set up for success. But a lot of even this will tie into today's episode about how to show up even when you don't feel like it. So I guess the first example of this and why it's really front of mind for me is the last thing I wanted to do right now was record the episode. I wanted to go to bed. I've got a belly full of food. I didn't drink, but a belly full of food, a lovely steak, some carrots and peas were all amazing. And I'm feeling quite content and I would love nothing more than to jump into bed right now. But as a business owner, and I truly do believe I am here to help men perform better in their life so that they can be better husbands, fathers, business owners, athletes, whatever it is, whatever's important to you, to help you really be perform at those better levels. And a lot of that comes down to clarity, accountability, and awareness. And one thing that's also sort of budding on that is this. There are many people who join the academy. There are many people who listen to podcasts, whether it's this one or others. There are many people who invest in themselves and then they stop. The transfer of money does not guarantee you an outcome. The setting of a goal does not guarantee you an outcome. Or it does guarantee you an outcome, but not a successful one. The officiating of a relationship does not guarantee it will be successful. What puts you in the best position to make any of those succeed is you need to be on the court to score the winning shot. You need to show up, even when it doesn't feel like it. One of the biggest challenges that I'm personally working through at the moment, and I'll share this with you guys within our academy, is how to get members to show up even when they don't feel like it. Most people join the academy when they're at a moment of uncertainty, lacking direction, or even pain, right? There's whether it's emotional pain or whatever, or they just know they want to go to a whole new level in their business, with their health, etc. But there's generally some emotion driving it. And you can probably relate to the last time you may have messaged me or taken action in certain areas of your life. It came from an emotional spike, let's call it. But what then happens is this cliche saying or quote, time heals all. And my problem with that is that if we leave anything for long enough, it can get, put back in the cupboard and we, forget about it for a while. But every now and then it rears its head. And that may be, that your life isn't quite where you want it to be. That may be that your relationship isn't where you quite want it to be. And the truth is this, you can only run so fucking long before you realize just how important it is for you to change. And if the time has, taken too long to pass, if too much time has passed, it can be very hard to accept responsibility to create change, to facilitate change. And I'm very proud of every bloke who's ever reached out to me with the intention of having a conversation around how you can improve certain areas of their life. Like whether it's you even listening right now, I have so much fucking respect for you and you should be proud of yourself and I'm fucking proud of yourself. And just to clarify, not everyone who reaches out for help is struggling with their mental health. A lot of our members are business owners and people who just want to be better. They know that they can be better. Right? And that's the way I live my life now. I'm not in any turmoil in any area of my life, but I know that there's continuing things or things that I definitely need to work on in order to continue growing into the man that I want to become, in order to create the life that I want for myself, right? That's what I'm very aware of. So when I become aware of this and when I see, as I said, members join, the next hardest part is to continue showing up. It is to make sure that you are prioritizing the time, even when you don't want to, right? Even if it's cold out, even if you feel like a sleep in, even if you've missed a few weeks and you feel like you don't belong anymore, you're the one who holds the key to creating the change. I can't do that for you. No one can do that for you, not even a program, right? You hold the keys to the change in your hands. And there's a great quote from Woody Allen, good old Woody Allen. Showing up is 80% of life. Sometimes it's easier to hide at home in bed. I've done both. That's from Woody. And I can 100% agree with him because I've definitely done both as well. But I also know that in order for me to create the change in my life, I have to continue showing up. It's no good for you guys, I guess or my leadership, if I say, you got to continue showing up, if I'm not showing up for myself and if I'm not showing up for you guys. And I know things come into play that can get get in the way, but it's as simple as this, right? If you're committing to something, and if you're committing to our academy, and I want to talk to academy members now because I hope that a lot of you guys are listening to this. Anything worth doing in life is never easy. If it were, everyone would be doing it, right? We follow people on social media. We have people that we respect in our life. We have mentors, and generally those people that we look up to, we want things that they have, right? We do. The reason that they stand out is because we know deep down, whether you're willing to admit it or not, we know deep down the sacrifices that they would have made, the cold mornings driving to practice, the moments where they're like, fuck, my bank account is so empty, I don't know how I'm going to eat next week. Right? We understand a small bit of the sacrifices and the price that they've paid to achieve what they've achieved. So we're like, damn, that's awesome. And we go, look, I do want to do that. I am committed to what it takes. I am prepared to get up early. I am prepared to put 90 minutes in my calendar a week to work on myself, or 10 minutes a day to read a book, or pick up the phone to call for help. But then when the moment comes, we don't. A more comfortable option shows up. And a big, big issue that I believe is starting to rear its head is so many of us, I'm not even going to put myself in this category actually, but so many men out there are choosing the quick win, are choosing the instant gratification, the comfort in the short term, which is creating long-term pain, long-term suffering, and long-term discomfort. When in reality, we should be choosing the longer or the delayed gratification, the short-term discomfort for the long-term comfort. And I don't think we'll ever experience long-term comfort, because if you are growth-minded, you're going to continue to seek out new skills, new relationships, new connections, new experiences, all of which will make you feel uncomfortable. But it's very, very important to make sure that you're prioritizing and also finding ways, a bit of a sore throat, finding ways to make sure that you do the hard things even when you don't feel like doing it. So I want to quickly give you an outline of what keeps me driven and how I sort of even jumped on this podcast tonight to do it when it's the last thing I really feel like doing. I'm very clear, right? And this is the thing that I talk about is creating clarity in your life around what you want, who you need to become, who you need to hang around with, how much you need to earn, all of these things. But it's really identifying the outcome of the goal. Why do you want to accomplish it in the first place? I truly believe, and I hear from you guys frequently, that podcast episodes add so much value to you. A lot of you are stumbling across the Man That Can project and myself for the first time through episodes like this. So if I'm not showing up for myself and for you guys, then I'm losing the ability and I guess almost the selfish gratification of being able to impact your life. And as I said earlier, I truly believe I'm here for a bigger purpose to really help men perform at a high level and maximize their quality of life. So I know what the goal is and I know what's required in order to achieve that. I also, through persistence, right, because I'm not perfect and I don't ever claim to be, but I also am very clear on things that can hold me back. And in the past, the easy option of, I'll just go to bed, I'll worry about that in the morning, or I'll push that to next week, or I'll let this week slide. Excuses like that have popped up in my head, and that's more often than not the kind of self-talk that has held me back. Right? You may be able to relate with things like, it's too cold outside, I don't have enough time, my feet hurt, the bed feels warm and needs me, stuff like that. Right? You know it's not serving you in it, but you justify it to yourself in the moment. But it's then, I guess we talk about, clarifying or becoming clear on what it is that you want. And we also speak about building a plan in order to achieve that. And for some of you to get started, right, I call it the defrosting. I always joke about with Amy, she's defrosting while I bring her a coffee in the morning and let her have 15 to 30 minutes to scroll on TikTok and Reddit and all of that sort of stuff before she comes out of bed, right? It's that smallest step of action. And that's what's important next to think about, okay, what is the next smallest possible step of action that I can take to make me get in the groove to achieve what it is that I want to tick off, right? The podcast for me, the first step was turning on the lights in the office. Second step was pulling out the laptop. The third step, I had my notes of things that I was going to do a podcast on, but I was very fortunate. This was, I guess, what was experienced going on in my mind right now to do that. The next important step, right, to make sure you continue doing what you know needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it, is accountability. Put accountability in place. Right? Why are you not showing up for yourself? Do you need a coach? Do you need a mentor? We've got our academy, right? And there's still people who go missing. They don't answer my bloody calls. You know who you are. You don't answer my text messages. You know who you are. But at the end of the day, it's not impacting me. It's impacting you. So think about this. If you're one of those people who avoid these things, what accountability do you need in place so that you show up even when you don't feel like it? And the final thing is just doing the work. I'm about to wrap this episode up. I'm so stoked that I did do it, and I'm very grateful that you're listening to this right now and you've listened the whole way through. It honestly means a lot to me. And I know you'll have taken away something to implement within your own life. So it's not about, and I don't want anyone to feel bad. Once again, I know I can't control how you feel. You should, how you perceive what I say is your own doing to choose to how you feel. So take responsibility for that. However, what I want you to take away from this is not about feeling bad about not showing up when times are tough, because once again, as I mentioned, I'm not perfect. There have been times, and there will continue to be times where I do choose the comfortable option. But I know that in order to get what I want out of life, I need to continue showing up even when it's, challenging me. So if you got value from this episode, I'm challenging you to get uncomfortable by sharing it on your socials and tagging me at Lachlan Stuart or at the Man That Can Project, or even leaving a review. I know that makes some people feel uncomfortable, but do something today to be better for tomorrow. I look forward to having you guys listen in next week. Thank you for listening to the Man That Can Project podcast. My name is Lachie Stuart, and I hope you enjoyed this episode and found it helpful. If you did, please take a moment to rate and review the Man That Can Project on your favorite podcast platform. And don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with our newest episodes. We'll see you again next time.